What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, Wilton Norman Chamberlain, probably the most dominant basketball player in the history of the game. Fuck what Shaq's talking about. The Paul Bunyan of the NBA. So many things have been said about him. A lot of it's true. Some of it's false. Some of it exaggerated or embellished. But still, the man is the most mythic athlete we've seen. One of the things that he's talked about is whether or not he actually slept with anything close to 20,000 women. And a man who was a pussy hound in his own right in his prime, Dennis Rodman. And I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below, said that he seriously doubts that Wilt Chamberlain slept with that many women. All right. He said in an old interview back in 1996, so this is the peak of Dennis Rodman's popularity, when asked whether or not it's false, exaggerated, he said, totally. And I should do it in Dennis' voice. Totally. Believe me, if I had sex every day for how many years? 20 years. I mean, you could have sex over 20 years, but not every day with 5 girls a day. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. But, yeah, I mean, look. The math doesn't add up in a lot of ways. The only reason why you even speculate is because it's Wilt Chamberlain. But, look, there are too many players who played with Wilt Chamberlain at the beginning of his career who said that there were too many nights that Wilt Chamberlain went home and went up to his apartment with a big bag of McDonald's and went to bed alone. Because you got to think about it like this. Wilt Chamberlain, when he played, right, he played almost every game, with the exception of that one year when he had that freak injury. He played almost every day. Every game, right? This is a dude that was not only playing every game, but was playing on average 45 minutes a night for his career. In his prime, he was averaging 47, 48 minutes a game. So this is a guy that was playing every minute of every game on both sides of the floor. I read that it was commonplace for Wilt to lose during a game because he was playing so hard, between 7 and 10 pounds a night. He would lose literally 7 to 10 pounds a night. He would come into the game maybe weighing 290 pounds, and after the game he lost so much water weight he'd be like 281. So he's exhausted. Then you got to remember when he was playing in Philly, he lived in New York. So they didn't have charter flights back then. They didn't have personal flights. So he would have to travel from Philadelphia to New York to go to his apartment. Do you think a guy playing a full basketball game and then having to travel that much, and he's probably exhausted and starving, do you think he's really thinking about fucking all night? Now, when the NBA became a little bit more lucrative, and say Wilt was in LA, playing for LA, and, we were in the sexual revolution era, then I'm more willing to believe that Wilt was getting his freak on. But I don't know about 20,000. Now, if you're talking about the period of time after Wilt was retired, in the 70s into the 80s, I think he did a lot of his fucking then, to be honest with you. But anyway, 20,000 is, I mean, look, it's just hard to quantify that total in my mind. for a man to sleep with that many fucking women? You know, is he talking about the amount of times he's had sex, or the different women that he's had sex with? Because if you're talking about that you fucked 20,000 women, then how many times have you had sex? Like, I mean, literally, it's a number that is hard. Look, for a man to sleep with 100 women in his lifetime, 100 women is that's a pretty decent total, right? 100 women, that's a pretty fucking decent total, like a stud total, right? To sleep with 500 women, then for it to be 1,000, I mean, I don't know, man. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.